6 Foot Cook Radio. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show today, the 6 Foot Cook Radio. Today we got an amazing guest, Chef Hugo, aka Chef Sancho, in the building today. This is a really good friend of mine, and I'm definitely excited to be able to bring him on the show today. So we got an amazing show. Get ready to tune in. Man, welcome to the show today. How are you doing today, bro?
Good, man. Thanks so much for having me, man. It's an honor to be here with you, just because we have history together, man, and we go way back. So, I'm very, very glad to be here supporting you.
Oh, man, I appreciate the support, man. So let's get right into it. So, if you don't mind, man, share your name with the listeners and your business and everything, man. Let us know who you are.
My name's Hugo Valdez, man. Born and raised over here in Atlanta. And most people know me by Sancho. It's kind of a nickname that's stuck through one of my friends, so that's what everybody knows me by.
Now, Sancho, man, what does Sancho mean?
Well, Sancho really has a really, really dark connotation to it, and by dark, it's kind of like dark humor. Love dark humor. But Sancho's basically like somebody who's at your house. But just cut it short, it's Jody. If you know who Jody is, you know who that is. But it's not too proud of it, but it's funny.
Oh man, sliding in the DMs, ladies. Watch out now. Oh man, so tell us, man, how did you start cooking? What inspired you, or who inspired you?
Well, I didn't actually just start cooking. I actually briefly had a job as a dishwasher at a Mexican restaurant. After that, it was just seeing the culture and seeing how all these guys banded together as a group and made food happen that people were willing to pay for. Seeing that and seeing the hard work really inspired me to move forward. So when I got an opportunity to be a dishwasher, my chef Chris Effa offered me a dishwasher position, and I said, "Hey man, no, then can I cook?" And he gave me my shot, and here we are, 10 years later, have my own thing, doing my own thing.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. I remember a little bit about that story. We'll talk about that later. But so tell me, man, so far, I know we talked about your catering business or whatever. What's been the biggest obstacle for you in becoming an entrepreneur?
Biggest obstacle, man, it's I have to be flat out honest and say myself. A lot of people won't admit it, but it's you who holds yourself back. You start looking at, when you work at every restaurant, there's always one thing that you don't like. There's never the perfect restaurant. So it's up to you to create that perfect environment, not for everybody, but for you, for what you want.
Right, man. That's deep. That's some heavy stuff there. That's absolutely true, and I can attest to that as an entrepreneur myself. We like to blame. Whether it's capital, we like to blame marketing, we like to blame a lot of things, but oftentimes people won't even look into the mirror and say, hey, what can I do to make this business happen myself? All right, welcome back. Man, we got an amazing guest here again, Chef Hugo, Chef Sancho in the building with us. Man, it was very, very, very good questions so far, man, and great answers. So we're going to continue this right along. And we're going to continue to move forward. And so, Chef, tell us, man, what was your, I know you talked about what inspired you. What was your first culinary job and position? We talked about the dishwasher and you wanted to be a cook. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, man. So I started off as a dishwasher at the Mexican restaurant, like I said it before. Then got a chance to, prove myself on the line and, work on the line. So I did when I was working at the DoubleTree Hotel, where Chris and I met. Did that, started off pretty much where everybody does, did a little bit of the salads, then moved on my way on up, and, was always trying to learn something,
Yeah, man, I remember that. Now I'm going to date myself a little bit, but I remember that, man. I remember Hugo coming in as a young kid, man, and, just full of energy, full of life, but wanting to learn. And I'm definitely proud to see where he's going and where he's at now. just based off of that dedication and hard work. It's been an amazing journey to watch, man, and I believe I could say on behalf of that team there, man, we're definitely proud of what you've been doing out here in this culinary world. That's huge, man, to see somebody realize their dream and then move forward and make it actually happen. So, we talked about that. So what do you like to cook? What's your specialty, as people love to ask?
I'm gonna go be straight out, man. Just being Mexican, and it's in my blood, man. It's Mexican food, but it's not just typical Mexican food. Because everybody that I talked to, I really got some shine with doing sushi. So everybody really was like, "Hey, man, like you can do really good sushi. You can do really good sushi." And even on interviews, they didn't think that I was Mexican. It's just like, look, man, my eyes are just tiny because I got big cheeks. Okay, like, 'cause I'm not Asian, I promise. So yeah, but it's the refinement of Mexican cuisine, because I feel like it hasn't been portrayed the way that it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Okay. So what? I know that's your heritage. I know that that's something that's in your blood. But what makes it like really, really passionate to you about it? Like what gives you that? Like, I gotta make this shine on this cuisine. What gives you that?
it's a couple of things, man. Everywhere that you go in the restaurant industry, if you look in the back, there's Mexicans in the back, and it was kind of eye opening for me to understand that, you can always be in the kitchen, but you'll never be the chef, and it's hard to understand that as a young person who's ambitious and wants to learn everything, that you're kind of never going to be looked at that way, but I've always said people love the food, but people don't love the people. They never give them that shot. So the fact that we're in an era where, there's a lot of talk about cultural appropriation and such, you look at it as like, hey, this is my culture's food, and I've been born and raised in this culture. I can do this because I know how. And the fact that you go to a lot of Mexican restaurants, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man, it's almost the same thing everywhere you go. Everywhere has queso, everybody gets dip, everybody gets guac, everybody gets chips, and that's it. Right. There's nothing that really makes it stand out or say, hey, yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can agree to that, man. It's unfortunate. You go to a lot of these quote unquote authentic places, but it's so Americanized. And people are really surprised, and I mean, you don't get things, like pupusas anywhere. You don't get, just you don't get real authentic anything. Realistically, it's been watered down to the Americanized version, and that's what we go for. But I love the culture. I love the food. It's a lot of great things. Maybe we can talk about that again on another show. But so I know your first job. I know I witnessed this, but I actually was able to go to your graduation. But tell us where you attended culinary school, and do you feel that what you learned in culinary school equipped you for the real culinary world?
So I actually went to a community college. I didn't do one of these big name schools. One, because I didn't have the money to do so. So I paid my way through college. So I went to Chattahoochee Tech. Unfortunately, their culinary program closed. Sucks, but hey, went there. And to this day, I still use some of the forms that they gave me in terms of costing, ordering, and receiving. It was a more hands-on program that a lot of kids who came from these big name schools were like, man, we're sitting here reading about eggs 8 hours a day, just reading, not even getting to cook eggs. Here we're reading about eggs for 45 minutes and going in there cracking shells, trying to make the perfect over easy egg. And to hear that coming from kids who did go to these big name schools, it meant a lot, because they weren't getting the experience, they were just paying the money for it. Meanwhile, we were getting all the experience and all the help for a fraction of the price.
Yeah, that's amazing. They actually do have a great culinary program. I went to that school as well. Chef Bologna was there at the time, and man, I mean, the experience that you get, real world chefs, it was amazing. So yeah, definitely, man. Got an amazing interview going so far with a great old friend of mine, Chef Hugo. So tell us, man, what's the biggest lesson you learned so far as an entrepreneur?
Hey man, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, man, is to learn how to read people. You learn how to read people, and it can actually get you pretty far. You know, you as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, you always want the best for your business. You know, it's your heart and soul. It's what you worked hard for, and making the wrong move with the wrong person, especially in the chef industry, because you know one of the things that we hold close to our own is our own recipes. So you give your life essentially for your business, and if you give that to the wrong person, you lose everything. So knowing the psychology of people, knowing how to read body language, all of that, you know, it can help you, you know, keep your business afloat.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, while we're on that subject, that's really good there. While we're on that subject, uh, what is one of your favorite interviewing questions? I mean, like, you know, while we're talking about, you know, watching relationships, what would be one of your favorite interviewing questions that you ask someone?
Yeah, so one of my favorite interviewing questions, man, it's actually a two-part question. Is what's your favorite thing to cook, and what would you cook for me right now? You can tell a lot by what a person chooses. You know, when you go into an interview, you always, you know the chef, and you know the chef has high expectations, and most people are afraid to cook for chefs. You know, so cooking them something that you hold close to you is really important because it not only shows character, it shows that passion for your food, you know, because we're never at home, so having a home cooked meal is something rare that we come across by. So the fact that you can show me something that no matter how long you've worked or how hard you've worked, you can still cook it and say, yeah, this time right now, I'm happy. And that's all we want to do, you know. I think happiness is the biggest thing to achieve in life.
Oh man, absolutely. I mean, I remember, you know, going on interviews, man, and doing stages and demos, man. I always relished the opportunity because I always did my homework, did my research. Whoever I was interviewing, I would know something about, and I think that's important. And I think it's more important though. If you don't know anything, just say that. Say you're coming to learn. You want to learn. You want an opportunity. I've interviewed so many people that you know they've been these amazing chefs, but then you take them in the back and they don't even know what a third pan is, right? And so you know we want to you know, just be honest, man. We're looking for honest people. So yeah, that's huge. So man, tell us about your business and what you got in store for it. What's next?
All right, man. So my business is called Viva la Masa. It's a riff on Viva la Raza, which is a very big Chicano saying from back in the day. You know, this is long live the race. You know, but it was more of a Chicano empowerment movement. You know, to help us keep going and coming through the obstacles that we, you know, went through history. So it's a play on that. It's a lot of street food. You know, not just Mexican street food, but Latin street food. And so selling a lot of that, you know, making not just, like I said, not just Mexican street food, but a lot of Latin street food as well, because I don't want to hold myself down to just one type of cuisine, because there's a lot of realms of Latin cuisine. So pop-ups will be coming in soon on some of these local Atlanta restaurants, so January and February, look out for it, and I'll be there.
Oh man, I'm gonna be the first in line too, man. Everywhere you are, man, I'm gonna be the first in line. All right. Welcome back, man. So we've been interviewing with Chef Hugo. Now we're in our segment called Chicken, and we wanna you know, this is where we talk about news headlines or interesting culinary things going on out there. And so today, I know a lot of people have been talking about it. With this vegan guy sues Burger King claiming it cooks Impossible Whopper next to meat. And as everybody knows, the fast food chain has been a huge promotion on this Impossible burger. They're everywhere. And so we're going to, you know, as reported by the New York Times, we're going to talk about it a little bit. And so it says Burger King's beef-free Whopper may not be so meatless after all, at least according to one vegan customer. That's the argument being made in a lawsuit filed on Monday in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida, in which the plaintiff, Philip Williams, claims that the fast food chain failed to disclose that its plant-based Impossible Whoppers are cooked on the same grills as beef products. The class action suit accuses Burger King of undertaking the false and misleading business practices in the marketing and sale of its meatless burgers, and notes that vegans would not purchase the Impossible patties if they knew they were prepared next to meat options. So, I mean, man, wow, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
On so many levels. One, like, who's to really blame here? Like, is this guy reaching? Is he going too far? Did Burger King not do enough to ensure, cross-contamination? What are your thoughts, Chef?
Man, I actually read about this, man, and it's quite humorous to me, just due to the fact that, look, first of all, if you're going for a vegan meal at a fast food restaurant, man, look, you need to get your priorities straight. Right? I mean, what are you doing? What are you this is not like, a fine dining restaurant or somewhere where they can accommodate these things. And the irony of this reading is why I found it so funny is because actually one of my former chefs, he went to go try it because he's vegan, vegetarian more so. But so he asked them if it was cooked in the same grill, and they said yes. They were like, yeah, it is. If you don't want it, we'll microwave it for you. They straight up told him we'll microwave it for you, and he was like, yeah. I mean, don't tell people that, but I mean, like, if you asked for it, it was there.
Right.
And the way that I look at this whole vegan not issue, but vegan movement, which if you're vegan, hey man, more power to you, man. To each their own. And it's a real powerful movement, honestly. You look at places like the Slutty Vegan, and they're just killing it, because there's a niche for it. And I think that's what Burger King try to do. They try to hop in, like the vegan train and get something they could. Unfortunately, it seems like they didn't think it all the way through of how they could really make something truly vegan. But at the same time, it's kind of just like when people say that they're, gluten-free, a small percentage of the population does have celiac. But if it's one of those things where it's just preferences, you also have a preference to go somewhere else, or you also have a choice to go somewhere else than to somewhere that predominantly sells something that you do not eat.
Right. Man, I think, just to that, here's my thoughts. A couple things. One, Burger King, what are you doing? Right? And they have a history, though. They're chasing things. They were serving tacos at one point. But what are you doing? You know the importance, especially, in this allergy age that we've been in, and we have to have so many disclaimers on food. What are you doing? You have to know you have to have something separate or another system just for that. I mean, it's places that do, black bean burgers or tofu burgers or whatever, and they'll put a piece of foil down and cook it on the grill that way, whatever the case may be, but you got to make sure that you're protecting yourself as a business. But then, a little satire here. It's funny to me that you got a vegan at a burger joint, right? Like, so many times, oftentimes, stop trying to make everywhere accommodate you. Right, stop. If you're a vegan, go to a vegan. If I want barbecue, I go to a barbecue joint. I don't go, to, McDonald's to try their pulled pork sandwich. You know what I mean? I don't. You know what I mean? I'm not going to Olive Garden. If I want Viva la Masa. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think we have to, as people, stop trying to be so inclusive of everything and allow these places to be who they are. It's a burger joint.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Definitely.
Right? We can't continue to expect everything to meet the needs of everybody at all times. And I think as business owners, it's hard because you want to get the business. But I think this is where you draw the line, and I think this is another classic point in case. But anyway, that's my rant. I won't go on and on because I could. We're going to take a brief break, and we're going to come back with our inspired quote from Chef Hugo. Thank you so much. An amazing show so far, man. So Chef, tell us, man, how can people reach you?
Man, you guys can reach me at Instagram. You guys can reach me on Instagram or on Facebook. Instagram handle is Sancho Stiglitz, Sancho. STIGLITZ. And on Facebook, Hugo Boss. So, whatever business inquiries you guys have, just give me a shout. I'm sure to be able to accommodate you, or at least try to work with you, unless you want to be, unless you want another Burger King thing to happen. I'm just kidding, man. No, I'm just kidding, man. We'll try to accommodate you the best of our abilities, no matter how crazy it is. If we can do it, we will.
Oh, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, Chef, I like to always end the show with an inspired quote. Something that pushes you on, something that helps you, through a rough day. What's something that sticks out to you that you could share that would inspire other culinarians out there?
Yeah, man. My personal quote that I hold real close to heart, man, is actually a quote by Albert Schweitzer, and it says, "The purpose of human life is to serve and show compassion and the will to help others." I think in such a crazy time that we're living in right now, like you can turn on the news and just see a whole bunch of nonsense. Everybody's almost there to watch out for their own. We sometimes forget to show that compassion to people because just because they're going through a rough time doesn't mean that they've looked for it. Something may have happened that had them get to that point, and I think that the understanding of human nature, of why we do sometimes the things that we do, really gets just waited out. Some things are not just because they're a bad person. Maybe it was just out of necessity. Some people are just waiting for somebody to show that compassion and that will to help them out. And it happened with me. Somebody gave me a hand, and they said, "Yeah, you can be a cook," and here I am. And it was that compassion and will to help me out, further my career, and make something out of my life that really helped me move on from what I was doing beforehand. And as long as we remember that, that we have to show that, it will really help you become the world, or it will help you make the world that you want to see, rather than just trucking on.
Right. Man, really good. And shout out to Chef Chris Effort, too, man, for giving you the opportunity, man. Really great guy, man. I miss that guy so much, man. But, man, that's amazing, guys. Hey, look, you heard it here. That's it. I don't want to come. I don't want to talk, but I just want to say thank you guys for joining today. Also, remember, man, check out the book, Recipes to Success: The Journey of the 6-Foot Cook, How I Became Self-Made in This Industry, man. We talk about a lot of great things and different topics, just as such as what we're talking about today. We definitely look forward to our next show, man, and you guys tuning in. Until then, be blessed and be careful what you eat. And don't Chef Hugo, thanks again for being on the show. We had a great time, man. I look forward to all your future endeavors. We give you, all the support. We give you the 6-Foot Cook Radio stamp of approval. You have that now, and man, we just appreciate your time. Thank you today, guys. You enjoy your week. We'll talk to you again next week. Peace. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more new content. Leave us a comment below on your feedback and suggestions. Peace, y'all.